Oh boy, hello, good night, good morning, I don't know, what is it? It's morning. It's not good night, it's morning. I don't know what I'm talking about. But you're sipping coffee with Spider because clearly I need it. Oh man, it was a rough night. It is sometimes, but that's what happens. That is what happens. So, now that you're here, let's do some listening here because it's time. And now the news, as they would say on a certain car show. So let's see what happened last week. According to Loudwire, Pantera pull out of 2023 Aftershock Festival. Let's see if there's a reason for that. I'm sure there is a reason, but let's see what it is. Let's see what the reason is. It says, due to circumstances beyond our control, and they did not elaborate for the reason. On that reason, they did assure fans that they would return for Aftershock 2024. They're still going to perform at Louder Than Life, and etc. Now, I don't know. I'm not a big Pantera fan. I never have been, which is kind of sacrilege because where I came from in the metal scene back in the day, Pantera was like godlike and not to be transgressed against. But I've never really liked them. I've never been into them. There's a shocking confession for you. So I don't know. Washington Post politics with some facts since we're on the verge of another one again. It happens every 6 months, it seems like. The shortest and longest government shutdowns in U.S. history. If you're curious to find out what the records are for this, I get steamed about this topic, so I don't want to get too much into it. I talked about it before. I'm just going to reiterate that I think it's the dumbest thing ever that the leaders of a nation would just not work because they ran out of money. But that's because the United States is a corporation. They're incorporated. It's not just a nation anymore. Look it up. NBC News, NASA spacecraft delivering biggest sample yet from an asteroid. That's pretty cool. I mean, this is the first step towards mineral mining on asteroids and meteorites. Another decade or so, and we'll be in the asteroid field maybe with automated probes mining materials and bringing them back on a small scale. And then after that, who knows? And then maybe people can stop fussing so much about energy dependence here. I mean, materials dependence rather, not necessarily energy, unless they find things that they can turn into petroleum and whatnot. Maybe there's oil out there. I don't know. But that's cool. That's good stuff. It'll lead to asteroid mining. Associated Press, Poland is done sending arms to Ukraine, Polish leader says as trade dispute escalates. And you know, good for them. Every nation in the world does not need to send things to Ukraine. What we need to do is sit down, have a talk with Russia about it, and come to an agreement for them to leave. Because the whole Ukraine thing is just going to drag on and drag on and drag on and drag on. It's going to cost more and more money and more and more money and more and more money, and more people are going to die. And it's just, the whole thing was pointless at the beginning, and it's still pointless now. And we shouldn't even be funding it. Any money that should go towards that situation should go towards resolving whatever the issue is that Russia has to begin with, which is probably the United States' fault, as I've said before. Russia's doing the invading, yes. Russia started with the killing, yes. They're not. I'm not absolving them of what they've done, but the United States pushed them to it. The United States was the instigator. So we should fix it, but we won't. We'll just continue pouring money down the drain. Whatever. Smithsonian Magazine, San Diego closes popular beach for 7 years to protect sea lions. Now that's kind of neat. There's a lot of beaches. There are a lot of beaches. I know people are going to be mad. Oh, dude, we can't go to our beach. And you know what? Don't be such a beach. You knew that stupid joke was coming. But it's I know it's a hassle for some people, but there are so many other beaches, especially on the West Coast. There's so many. You can find another one. Really. It may be a little bit further of a drive or whatever, but whatever. You can find another one. WWG, mixed feelings on this. Keith David will voice Spawn in Call of Duty Warzone Modern Warfare 2 update. Now, I think it's kind of stupid that they have Spawn in Call of Duty. They've taken the concept of a realistic military shooter and just thrown it out the window at this point. After Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare was pretty much anything goes, and after zombies and everything. But at least Keith David, he's been voicing Spawn in various things recently for a while. He voiced the character in Mortal Kombat 11, and he voiced him, I think, in one of the cartoons. I don't remember which one. Maybe all of them. I never really watched them, so I don't know for sure. And he's a good voice actor. He's been around. He's been around a long time, so. And he's just been recruited to do voice work for Destiny since Destiny's voice actor for Zavala, one of the Vanguard leaders, he passed recently. And I know his name, and it's sticking in my head, but it's not coming to mind. But I know who it is. He was a popular actor as well. So Keith David's getting a lot of video game work these days. And if you want to know the details behind that, IGN has the story from Todd McFarlane on bringing Spawn to Call of Duty and the character's long video game history. I'm not interested because I'm not going to play that Call of Duty, and I think the whole idea of having Spawn there is dumb. But I like Spawn as a character in his own realm. I don't like him in Call of Duty. I think that's stupid. Capital Weather Gang. Warnings issued ahead of storms set to batter the mid-Atlantic northeast. And this is a new storm system developing off the Florida coast. And it's going all the way up the East Coast, all the way up to the southern bit of Pennsylvania, actually. Now, my daughter and her mom were on vacation during this time, and they're home now. But yeah, they got out just in the nick of time. They got out like the day that the storms were supposed to really start up, so they managed to get out before things got really bad because they were on vacation on Myrtle Beach. So that's good. But anybody else who was still there, hopefully you're doing okay. You didn't lose anything in the storms and all that good stuff. Phys.org, PHYS, new Type 1 supernova discovered with the James Webb Telescope. This telescope is on a roll. It is finding all this stuff. And there were people trying to shut it down because of its name, because apparently James Webb had some controversial history or something like that. But the telescope, man, it is on fire. Not literally. It is finding discovery after discovery after discovery, and it's awesome. Oh my gosh, like the stuff that it's finding. Oh man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Watch that space. Keep watching phys.org, PHYS, short for physics, of course, astrophysics probably. And definitely keep an eye on this because it's cool stuff. CBS News with more space, more from NASA. NASA mosaic image reveals unprecedented detail of Moon's South Pole region. And that's awesome. We're really getting into the moon. Like, we're really, like, they're finding things under the surface that they didn't know were there. They're sending more rovers and things there from different countries. And we're into the moon. I like it. It's right in our backyard, our planetary backyard. We might as well check it out. We haven't been there in a long time, so let's check it out. like that. PC Gamer, here are the full patch notes for Cyberpunk 2077's huge 2.0 update. And if it hasn't updated by now, it should be any time for people. I believe it should be now, prior to now, actually. And I have not yet played it. I've still been playing everything else. I've still been on a Starfield kick. But by the time the next episode plays, I'll probably have played it, and maybe I'll bring it up. I don't know. This isn't like a gaming specific news show, but it's just I cover a lot of gaming news because it's there. And but yeah, I'll look into it and I'll play it. It's supposed to be substantially different, and they're saying that you should make a new character to really experience it the new way. And I really don't want to do that. So we'll find out. We'll find out soon how I feel about all that. ABC News, several Trump allies could be witnesses in upcoming Georgia interference election trial. Well, of course, they're going to try to get as many people that are close to him as possible on the stand, either for the defense or the prosecution. They're going to try to get as many people as possible because that's how these things work. Again, the optics are that they want to get Trump under any circumstances. That's the optics. I'm not saying that's for sure the motives, but it looks a lot like that. Okay? So, of course, they're going to try to get everybody that they can roped into it. Why wouldn't you? Meet the Press. Polls show DeSantis losing ground with moderate Republicans. Yeah, he tried to stretch himself too thin. He tried to please the real super heavy conservative people, and he tried to please some of the people kind of on the fringes, and then tried to swing a little bit towards the middle, and it's not working out. That's not how politics work anymore. Politics is currently all about extremes, which is really bad. I hate it. It sucks, but that's what it's about. And if you're not following the extremes, if you're not catering to the extremes, you lose ground. So that's pretty much done for him. I don't think he's going to recover. I think that's going to be the end of that. But who knows? Who knows? Reuters, auto workers rally as deadline nears to expand strikes on Detroit 3. And by the time I'm reading this could have already happened, or they may have resolved it. But I don't know. This whole situation is getting worse before it gets better. And I don't see it ending quickly. I think there's going to be a definite car shortage for a while. I think there's going to be a new car shortage as far as domestic vehicles for a while. Like, this is at the very least going to push back production by who knows how long. And we're already going to be impacted by it. So if you're looking for a new car, you're going to have to probably buy one that was manufactured overseas. Like a Nissan or a Mazda or a Lexus or something. You know, I don't think you're going to be able to get Chrysler stuff unless it was built someplace else. I don't know. Because a lot of these people have plants in Mexico and things of that nature. So maybe it might not be as bad as I think it is, but who knows? Associated Press, Zelensky visits Canada for first time since war started, seeking to shore up support for Ukraine. He's going all over, begging and borrowing, trying to get people to toss money at it, and it's got to be resolved soon. It's got to. Somebody has to step up and be like, hey, let's sit down at the table and get this done. Because otherwise, they're just going to keep killing each other, and eventually Ukraine's going to run out of money because nobody's going to send them anything anymore. And then it's going to be a huge tragedy because why didn't the world help them? And Russia's going to rally what's left of their military because they don't have any money either. Russia's economy is destitute, which is why they haven't won by now. And, yeah. Oh, well. Associated Press again. Kenya's president is committing his country to lead a multinational force to Haiti to combat gangs, and this is a I don't know how I feel about this. I know that the gangs in Haiti overthrew the government and basically took over the country. And that's bad, and somebody definitely needs to do something about that. But now there's like a worldwide, there's like a coalition of major powers looking to send military there. And I don't know if that's really the answer. Like, I don't know. I don't know if there's a good or bad way out of that. Maybe it's the only answer. I don't know. It, a lot of people are going to get hurt. A lot of people are going to get hurt. From Reuters, the U.S. talking to India about the Canada murder of the Sikh SIKH activist. No special exemption, quote unquote, Biden advisor says. Well, we'll see. It's like I told you guys yesterday. The Indian government, the Modi government, Saudi Arabia, China, Russia, all these guys are thugs. They don't play by the rules. They do whatever they want. And especially in the case of China and Saudi Arabia and India, we're still throwing money at them. We're still buying things from them. We're still funding them. We're still chummy chums with them. Russia, not so much anymore, but that's because we have Ukraine as an excuse. The other ones we don't so far, unless China moves against Taiwan or something like that. But Saudi Arabia killed the journalist. Pretty blatant. Got caught out. They say the appropriate people are in prison. That's basically a quote from them. But they're suffering no consequences. The world stage is absent of consequences for them. India represses its own people on a daily basis, and they just killed this guy in Canada, and so far no real consequences. So we got to stop paying these people. We got to stop giving them money. Stop giving these countries money because they think they can just get away with it. They think they can get away with it. PC Gamer Ubisoft casually announces the Division 3. It feels like it hasn't been that long since the Division 2 came out. And honestly, I have trouble with Tom Clancy games. Sometimes they're on point. I liked Wildlands. Ghost Recon Wildlands. I did not like so much Breakpoint. And I haven't liked some of their other ones, like the Rainbow Six games, have just been obnoxiously difficult for no particular reason. And I don't know. I tried the first Division game, and I couldn't even beat the earliest low-level bosses because they expect you to have a big squad full of people and blah 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 blah, and use all these various buffs and all this other stuff. And I don't got time for that. I don't play with people. I don't like to constantly. Give me the ability to fight them without having to buff myself for it. Give me the ability to fight low-level enemies with the low-level equipment. Match it. You know? I don't know. It seems like a smart idea to me. I played a little bit of the Division 2 because Rob asked me to. And we did some Twitch streaming for it, and I don't care for it. So this isn't real big news for me, but it might be big news for other people. From Collider.com, Mac, that's not how you say it. Michael Caine confirms retirement from acting at age 90, which, makes perfect sense. You're getting up there. You don't want to get hurt in case you're in the wrong kind of movie. The schedule of shooting and things can wreak havoc on your stress levels. So I get it. More power to him. And he wants to go out while he still has his cognitive faculties, because not every actor can say that. I mean, Bruce Willis, unfortunately, is not all there anymore, and he knew it, which is why he was basically taking every movie he could to make sure he could rack up those royalties and things to pay for his bills while he's slowly losing his mind, because he knew it was coming. That's real sad. But at least he recognized it and he prepared for it. I hope. I hope he prepared for it well enough. Now, this is interesting. CBS News: weather data from Pearl Harbor warships recovered to study climate science. Now, I get it, and it's neat, but because it wasn't really that long ago on a geological scale, on a planetary scale, I don't think it'll matter too much. I mean, I think it'll get used for, oh, look at the increase and everything in this short amount of time. But you have to also take into account everything from several hundred years beforehand and then thousands of years before then, and study the various patterns and see if it matches earlier patterns that have happened in the planet's history. You can't just take that and use it to support an argument, which I hope they're not doing. But it's still interesting data anyway. It's still interesting data. Philadelphia sheriff, this is from WHYY, disputes controller report that her office can't account for nearly 200 guns. How? I think that's a pretty fair question. If you can account for them, then find the paperwork. If you don't have the paperwork, then where are the guns? That's a lot of guns. And Philadelphia has a lot of crimes. So A plus B, 1 plus 1 equals 2, etc., etc. Yikes. What's wrong with the world these days? I don't know. What's wrong with the world? Wired is done with this story. Wired is all done with it. Here's the headline. The dumb, and this is a quote from the headline, the dumb alien mummy story takes an entirely predictable turn. That's from Wired. I bet this is kind of half an opinion piece, but let's take a look. They're fed up with it. A week ago, 2 bodies believed to be a muddle of human and animal bones were presented in Mexico's Congress as proof of alien life. Now the scientific community is fighting back. Wow. I mean, the faces don't even look right. They look fake. The faces look fake. They look like you made them out of clay. Like my daughter could make faces like this out of her Play-Doh. I don't know. Maybe they're real, but I doubt it. So far, there's been a big consensus that shows that it's not. But who knows? I'll keep following that and see if anything changes. CBS News: migrant crossings soar to near record levels, testing Biden's border strategy. And this is a curious thing because from all the evidence, despite the fact that supposedly the border is unsecured and all this other kind of stuff, the official policy has been kind of strict. It's been kind of strict. They've given out less visas and less asylum and things like that, even less in some cases than during Trump. But the difference here is that when Trump made these big statements about it, less people wanted to show up because they feared they'd be turned away. Whereas Biden, while he doesn't say that they're going to turn people away, they have been, but they don't say so. They don't make a public deal about it. They still say, oh, yeah, migrants are important and blah, blah, blah. So people keep coming in higher numbers, despite the fact that they're not all getting in. And so they're crossing more illegally now, despite the consequences. So words are important. Words are very important. People can say it's rhetoric, people can say this, but it's very important. So we'll see how that goes. The border thing is an ongoing thing that I don't think it's going to be solved anytime soon. Let's see. Indoor family fun park concept set for Arizona debut in West Valley. That's cool from the Phoenix Business Journal. If you're looking for indoor family fun in Phoenix, Arizona, in the West Valley, there you go. They might open a new indoor park for you. I think they're usually loud and kind of obnoxious, so I don't really like them too much. But, we do what we do for our kids. Let's see here. Reuters asks the question, what are the latest upgrades in China's military? I can't read it because Reuters paywalls all of their things, I'm constantly harping on about. But if you want to know what the latest upgrades in China's military are, you can sign up and toss them a buck or two. Nintendo, according to The Verge, now supports passwordless sign-ins. That's cool. They use like tokens and things these days. Amazon uses tokens. My credit cards use tokens and things like that. And I'm not sure how that all works and how that's more secure than passwords. They don't use like the thumbprint and things like that. So I don't know. But it's an interesting thing that the whole secure login thing is changing. The landscape is changing. I don't really like it. I don't like it. Popular Science says spider silk stronger than Kevlar, spun by an unlikely source. Ooh. What's this? What is the unlikely source? Load the article, please. Man, it's early if you know I'm singing. Oh, okay. Using CRISPR gene editing. Ooh, the controversy now. Researchers compelled common silkworms to produce material for durable new threads. Now, this is another one of those interesting things, but is it something we should be doing? I don't know. I'm not real keen on tinkering with genetics, but I know they're going to do it anyway, and that's the way of the future. So we'll see. Earth.com, more evidence discovered that alien life exists on Jupiter's moon Europa. Ooh, I saw a little bit about this story. Let's see what the details are. In a revolutionary discovery that further intensifies the debate surrounding extraterrestrial life, I clicked a link by mistake. Astronauts utilizing, once again, the James Webb Space Telescope have detected the presence of carbon dioxide on Jupiter's moon Europa. Carbon dioxide is actually an important building block for life. Even though it's poisonous to us, it is important to plant life. It has an important dynamic with oxygen and nitrogen and the various other mixes and methane and things like that. So that's super interesting. And something to keep an eye on. Definitely, for sure. And that's what I've got. That's what I've got for you. It's the end of the news, and I hope you've been enjoying. I've been doing this every day, and sometimes it feels like, oh my gosh, I'm already done with it because it's been a couple months, I think, and I get like burned out on things easily. But I don't know. I think it's been doing pretty well. I like news mostly, and I sometimes go on rants that are entertaining, I'm sure. So, once again, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop a comment on this video. Like, share, subscribe on YouTube, please. Please, 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 please put some syrup on your pancakes, please. And or send me an email at uncannyspiritsclub@gmail.com. And I would love to hear your opinion. Your nice opinion, not your mean opinion. Don't be mean. Don't you dare be mean. I won't share my breakfast with you. I won't share my bacon and eggs and hash browns and grits, none of which I have in my house at the moment. I have Pop-Tarts, because that's what my daughter eats. She eats Pop Tarts. So that's what I have for breakfast. Oh, I guess maybe there's some sausages in the freezer as well. They're vegan sausages. They're for my daughter and her mom. So you may not like them, but that's fine. That's what we got. I'll just have some toast, I guess. I do have toast, and I have butter, and I like buttered toast. So I'm gonna go do that now that I've worked myself up into a frenzy for food, and yeah, go have some pancakes, and think of me not having any pancakes, and I'll just sit here and cry about it.